Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alec and today we're going to be discussing the top 8 modifications that you can do to your 13th generation F-150. Now the F-150s run in the 13th generation from 2015 to 2020. Some of these modifications actually do transfer over to our previous generation, the 12th generation from 11 to 14, and also the newer generation, the 14th gen, and that is, your 21 and up trucks. Today we're going to be mostly focusing on the modifications to the 13th gen, but like I said, they do apply to other years, especially our first topic here. So we're going to jump right into this. Our first modification that I think is super important is if you do not get a Lariat 502A with LED headlights, a King Ranch, or a Platinum, I think headlights are the first modification to do to any of these trucks. I decided to go with the Alpha Rex Nova for the headlights. You could do something as simple as putting LED bulbs in your factory housings, as long as they are LED bulbs with a good pattern. Our second modification is going to be leveling out the truck. Now, whether you consider leveling out the truck to be raising the front end up to match the back to clear bigger tires, awesome. In my opinion, leveling out the truck, I like to keep the factory ride up front, and so I reverse level it by lowering the back to match the front. Now, I did that by installing a pair of drop shackles in the rear, and you can also achieve this on certain models by pulling the blocks out from between the axle and the leaf spring in the rear of the truck. So our third modification goes along with some of the aesthetics of the truck. In my opinion, picking a nice set of wheels to go along with the truck. Maybe you got fortunate, your truck is already a sport, then you have my favorite pair of wheels, as you can see here. Gray sport wheels are one of my favorite factory wheels. I have had lots of different pairs of aftermarket wheels, and I still love aftermarket wheels. They definitely hold a certain spot in my heart and a certain place on vehicles. But for a daily driver, I think a nice set of factory wheels is low maintenance, keep stuff off the side of your truck or from getting thrown down the side of your truck. And the 20-inch sport wheels are one of my favorites. My second favorite is the 20-inch Lariat Special Edition wheels. That is also a really good looking wheel. I have my two favorite pairs of wheels actually on my two F-150s. So we got the 20-inch Sports on the regular cab, and I have a set of blacked out Lariat Special Edition wheels on my crew cab. Pick a nice set of wheels, and you really start tying in the aesthetics of your truck with the headlights, the reverse level or the leveling kit, and then a nice set of wheels. The fourth modification is also going to tie into the appearance of the truck, which is going to be a nice window tint job. It's kind of crucial that if you're starting to tie in blacks with your accent color or whatever your paint color is, I think that a nice window tint job really brings a vehicle together and makes it look nice. My fifth modification, which is starting to get into things that are not aesthetic, and it's one of my favorite non-aesthetic modifications, is tuning. Picking a company to tune your vehicle, doing some custom tuning. That's really, in my opinion, one of my favorite mods, but it's one that's not aesthetically pleasing. I just feel like the manufacturers have to cork these things up and make them drive a certain way because all of us have different fuel that we're putting in the vehicle, and it needs to meet a lot of different specifications and requirements for the millions of people that buy these vehicles. But doing some custom tuning and really getting these things fine-tuned to the fuel that you're going to put in them and that kind of stuff. If you have an EcoBoost truck, similar to myself, my crew cab has the 3.5 liter EcoBoost. Those things wake up huge, insanely massively to custom tuning. This regular cab right here is a 5 liter, and it also is a huge difference between the 6 second 0 to 60 that it did factory and the 4 second 0 to 60 that it does now with some custom tuning by 5 Star Tuning. The next thing we're going to get into is a couple modifications to start tying in the big accent modifications that we did earlier with the headlights and the wheels and that kind of stuff. So if you don't have LED headlights, that also means that you have reflector style halogen fog lights. And so we want to match our headlights and our fog lights together so that you don't have a nice LED up top and a yellow halogen at the bottom. So getting a nice set of fog lights is really crucial. I'm going to show you a little bit of video that I took from installing my fog lights. About a month ago, I put some really nice Alpha Rex Nova headlights in. They look really good. Got a nice crisp cutoff line both sides, but we got a problem. Yep. Those guys. Halogens, not good. So, picked up a set of these Oxedo fog lights. They are number H10 9145. We're going to get these thrown in and match the fogs to the headlights. Boom. Oh yeah, that is so much better. Check that out. It actually has a really good cutoff line too, which I'm pretty impressed about. Halogen LED. Next modification on my list is going to be a set of wheel well liners. I think that having everything in the wheel well all black just kind of helps hide the dirt that you end up getting in your wheel wells. It makes them easier to clean than the factory stuff. If you live in a northern climate like myself, it also helps keep the salt and the slush contained within the wheel well. It provides some extra protection, and I'm going to show you a little bit of video from me installing these because they are super easy to install, and I want to show you that real quick. Alrighty, well, I got the best looking workbench in town in here, but we got some super nice Husky liners for the back of the regular cab F-150. So we're gonna get these thrown in. They're the Husky brand. These are my favorites because they cover the most of the frame in here. Just trying to keep the water and the, dirt and stuff inside. So we did fluid film this already. You can see we got a nice oil coating in there. I think if you're gonna run wheel well liners and you're in the Rust Belt or you plan on driving your vehicle, where there is salt, you really need to fluid film before you put these on. Otherwise they're just gonna hold crap behind there. With the fluid film there, it's not gonna have water spray on it. So actually it's gonna protect even better. So let's get these thrown in. Pull a 10 millimeter out here and put these two like J-clip things in and slap this guy up in there, put 3 bolts back in on each side, and they will be installed in like 10 minutes. All right, here we are all installed just a couple minutes later. 2 screws, factory screw. They look real nice. Now we got all black, so when we're doing a bunch of burnouts, you can't see all the rubber up in here. But in all seriousness, I am pretty happy with them. I don't know, they're wheel well liners. Can I say I'm not happy with them? I do wish they came down a little bit more. I know the ones on my crew cab, which I thought were Husky liners, and I'm pretty sure they're Husky liners, they come down into here and they kind of cover up all this stuff, which it's not a huge deal. I don't plan on driving this truck a ton in the winter time, especially not with a whole lot of salt slush, but I do plan on driving it a little bit, of course, to make content and stuff like that. So I do wish it came down a little bit more, but it is what it is. I must have not ordered the same ones, which I thought I did. So anyways, got that thrown on there. I want to stop and just say thanks to all the sponsors that help us out on the channel, but also a sponsorship or a plug for myself is every single modification that I mentioned in this video. I have videos on my channel. If we installed it in this video, then I don't have a video on it, but go check out the other videos if you are a diehard F-150 guy like myself and you're looking for some modifications for your truck. All right, I've been wanting to do this for a little while here. We got the old halogen bulbs in here for license plate lights. And just to update the back of this a little bit, we got some black LEDs. So when they're off, they just blend in. And when they're on, they are LEDs. So let's get those thrown in there. All right, there we are installed. Nice white LED. And once they go out, they're black, so they don't stand out. I may have to order a second set of those for the crew cab. Those are actually pretty sweet. One of the final modifications that I think really helps an F-150 with being a user-friendly vehicle and customizing it to yourself is doing some Forscan modifications. And if you're not familiar with what Forscan is, it's essentially a computerized program that you can use the OBD2 port, and you can actually go into certain modules in the vehicle and customize certain parameters. So some of my favorite things to change in Forscan, if you're not going to do custom tuning, is to turn off the auto stop start. My next favorite thing is I am an avid jet skier, and so I'm always pulling trailers and unloading them and loading them at the boat ramp. Generally, when I'm doing this, I'm not wearing my seatbelt. When the truck is dinging at me constantly while I'm trying to back up a trailer, I find that really annoying. So turning off the seatbelt reminder is something that I really actually love, and I love being able to do that with Forscan. The next modification is the Bambi mode. And so we talked about putting a nice set of headlights and fog lights in these trucks earlier. There's actually a way that you can turn on your fog lights with your high beams, and that's called Bambi mode. So you can enable that in your vehicle's BCM with Forscan. And then the last one is when you partially click your blinker, whether you're going left or right, usually it gives you 3 blinks and you're out of time to get over. I like to turn that up to 4 on my vehicles, if not 5, because that gives you a little bit more time to give people a heads up that you're going to get over. And also, when you have a trailer hooked up, then it adds 2 more flashes onto that. So if I ever put a trailer behind any of my trucks, then I get 6 or 7 flashes every time I just click that multifunction switch for the turn signal just once, and that way it shuts off on its own. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you just bought an F-150, congratulations on your purchase. In my opinion, it's one of the best trucks currently made, and I really love both of mine. They're very good trucks. They've been really good to me. If you could, leave this video a like because it really helps me out. And if you would, consider subscribing. My regular cab here is going to be turned into kind of a dedicated performance street truck. We got spinny things coming for it on the engine. We got a bunch of built parts, and this is just the beginning of this truck's project. If you also like Turbo LS stuff, we also have Turbo LS stuff on the channel as well. So we're kind of gearheads over here. We just like anything pickup trucks, changing the aesthetics, but we're mostly performance oriented as well. So until I see you guys next time, I really appreciate you watching. Peace.